Hey everybody, I'm back. I don't know what happened with that. I honestly just think that Google or YouTube is getting a lot of traffic with upload traffic. A lot of live streams happening at the same time, and something went wrong with them. But it's not my internet connection. It happened once before in a Sunday afternoon live stream, but it's never happened uh, during the morning, my morning live streams on Saturdays, and when I did them that week during the week, it never happened. So, Lone Wolf, Lake, glad to see y'all back. I don't know. I was just explaining. I don't know what that happens. Alex K. I don't know why that happens. I think it's almost has to be on YouTube's end because I have full throttle internet. No, nothing wrong with my internet, and they just give me a warning that they're going to start buffering, and I'm like, what does that mean? And I just think that they're getting a lot of upload traffic. A lot of people are live streaming at the same time. That's my theory on it, but because it never happens in the morning when I live stream at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, never happens, just flawless. So I don't know. And Laura Ann, with the Rumble, I'll tell you my whole thing with Rumble. When I first started doing this, I started on Rumble, right? And then just like for whatever reason, I was like, well, I just start uploading them to YouTube too. What the hell, you know? So I started uploading them to YouTube too. And as I was going along, got like, 10 subscribers on Rumble, and 8 of them are those people that they just subscribe and then they message you. It's just spam. They're not even subscribers to your channel. They're just telling you, "Oh, your content is wonderful and I could take you to the next level, if you give me some money, I'll take your content, I'll take your channel to the next level," and shit like that. 8 out of the 10 of my subscribers on Rumble after months were that. So I had like 2 legit subscribers, right? So I just kind of forgot about Rumble because then YouTube, I started getting a lot of subscribers, started meeting y'all. So I just kind of forgot about Rumble. And then again, I tried to do Rumble again because I had one video that got yanked and I wanted to post it to Rumble. And it's still the same thing. I think I've got 80, 87 subscribers over there, and a full 80 of them are that spam stuff. So it's just I wish they wouldn't allow that spam stuff to happen on Rumble. I don't know how they keep that off of YouTube, but I wish they would just because it skews your numbers and it's just it's disheartening, when you do get a subscriber and you're happy and you look at it and it's one of those idiots that wants, in India who wants to take my channel to the next level. I'm like, whatever. Why subscribe? Why not just comment on the video or whatever? Don't mess up my subscriber count. Yeah, that's the buffer. That buffer thing really messes us up once in a while. But last time this happened, same thing happened, but I restarted it just like I did now, and it worked fine the rest of the show. So we'll see. Hopefully it does it. Rusty Doob. There he is. Yeah, Laura Ann, yeah. They're all over the place. I just wish Rumble would tighten up on that and not allow all that spam on there. I mean, it probably used to happen on YouTube a lot when YouTube was a young thing, and people were probably spamming all over that shit too, but YouTube figured out how to stop that stuff. So just give Rumble a couple more years. They'll tighten it up on it. That I don't know, tea time. Maybe it is based in Canada. Could very well be. I don't know. Yeah, hello, I need to get myself a British flag, and I need to get one from. I might start doing that, collecting flags from all over the place. I like a British one, Australian, Norwegian, uh, Greek, all of them really. I think of one I don't want. I don't know. Hard to say. Who can I piss off? But we've had Germans and Greeks and all kinds of French. We've had all kinds of people from Western civilization on our channel. Gen Xers who make comments and stuff from other countries. It's really cool. I love that. That's the most awesome thing about this is visiting with people from other parts of our country, other parts of the U.S., and visiting with people parts of the world. That's just so awesome to me. Yeah, yeah, Lauren. He's Dan. I think he's part owner, is what I think it is. But yeah, he's definitely got big stakes in it at the very least. Yeah. I can't remember because he's the one I used to watch on there a lot, and he would mention it once in a while that he either was a part owner or one of the original founders or something. I just can't remember exactly what he said. Shareholder, okay. Dead Wolf Resistance. Glad to see you here, Dead Wolf. Yeah. Hell, we're doing good. I spent a long day out in the sun, but other than that, I'm doing pretty damn good. Put in 10 hours today hacking through packed clay and then building forms for concrete pour. Yeah, me too, Lauren. Yeah, I'm excited about that. See what him and old Cash Patel get up to. Yeah, Lone Wolf, that is awesome, man. I love it. I can't lie. I love it. It was so cool when I first saw that there were Gen Xers all over Western civilization. That was one of the um, cooler things that I've learned in the last few years. Mac MC, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you here, man. Gardner Earth Guy. Yeah. Yeah, see, I didn't know that back in the 90s. That you knew that then. You've known that for a long time. I just now figured it out when I started this channel. I've had this channel for over a year now. So a year ago, I've known it for a year that, Gen X is a global thing. I didn't know. I really thought it was just United States thing and probably Canada, but that's what I thought it was. Hey Mac, yeah, what's up, dude? I'm glad to see you here, man. It's cool to see you here. Glad you could show up and visit with us, man. We have some really good conversations. Yeah, and the more the merrier. We love our Gen Xers because we are awesome, and that's why everybody hates us because they know we're awesome. So, what did y'all think about my theory? The last couple of videos I did with the theory, with the cyclical time and all that. You just think it was total bullshit? I'm off my rocker, or does it make any sense at all? David, glad to see you here, buddy. Howdy. Molly Ringwald would play in Pensacola. That's cool. Oh, glad to hear that. Glad y'all got at least found it interesting. That's why I like to talk about it. Not necessarily, I would, go to the mattresses on the shit and I'm a die-hard believer in it, but it's interesting to talk about at the very least. something to think about. And I work a lot with my hands by myself, and so I have a lot of time to think. Nobody's in my ear. I don't have to talk to people at work or any of that stuff. So I'm just kind of doing manual labor things, and I've got a lot of time to think. So that's a good thing. I think manual labor is really a good thing a lot of times. Keeps me healthy, keeps me feeling good, and gives me a lot of time to think. Yeah, Laura Ann, that's how I think about it. It's just uh, the same, the same kind of plan, just or the same play. Yeah, the same thing. It's just different people doing it, and all the details might change, but the overall arc of the story remains the same. Rise up and fall, and different smaller civilizations might rise and fall in there, but the whole overall arc remains the same. You leaving already, David? You just got here, dude. All right. Good. Enjoy your supper, dude. Thanks for dropping by, man. Seriously, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you liked it too, Lake? I'm glad to hear it, man. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, that's the thing. Tea time, anything is possible. And I get I get this question about what if we're in a matrix, right? What if we're in some kind of hologram simulation? And the only answer that comes to me with that is, what's the difference? If I'm if I'm in a matrix, then the matrix is reality to me. So however they made reality, however God or whatever you believe in made reality, if he wanted to make it out of a matrix, then he made it in a matrix. If he wanted it a hologram, it's a hologram. Whatever it is, shit, it makes no difference to me. I don't care. If it's a hologram, cool, whatever. It's still real to me. It's not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna change my career or, go jump off a bridge or something when I find out it's a Matrix. So I don't know. It's not going to change anything. I might rewatch The Matrix again. But that's about the only thing I do different. So yeah. Oh, David's always eating. Did he? No, I can't smell anything tea time. I think you're good, buddy. You must have had a shower this month. No, Lauren, you're fine. We're not we're not talking a whole bunch of guy stuff. We're talking Gen X stuff, and you're as Gen X as the rest of us, so you're very welcome here. Yeah, Total Recall, Lone Wolf. Yeah, that was a cool ass movie. I liked the first one. The second one that came out with what's his name, whatever his name is. Okay, but yeah, that Total Recall was an awesome movie. I remember when it first came out, and that little uh, whatever, the mutant guy with the head coming out of his stomach or whatever. Yeah, that freaked me out when I was a kid. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, Big Country. No, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I might think about doing something like that. Yeah. That's a good idea. No, I don't think she does anymore. Gardener Earth guy. You're wearing a Metallica t-shirt? That's awesome. That is awesome. Garden Earth guy knew it. Yeah. Yeah, I used to love Metallica. I still do. I've got my favorite albums or whatever, favorite songs, but yeah, I still like Metallica. Matter of fact, I got a couple songs I need to add to my playlist. Yeah. So, yeah, the the whole thing, I like the way I look at all the conspiracy theories, okay? Whether you're whatever you're into flat earth or Nibiru or, ancient aliens or whatever. That it to me, that's a hobby. That's like collecting stamps or bird watching or whatever, you know what I mean? Some of that stuff, it's just never gonna be able to be proven. It's not supposed to be able to be proven. It's supposed to, you know, be something to think about and something to enjoy and a way to spend your time investigating stuff. And Bigfoot's one and all this, right? And it is supposed to be something for us to enjoy. The thing I don't get about it is the people, but almost all people, how we as human nature makes us get like defensive if someone questions our little conspiracy theory that we're into. I don't m I personally, I don't care if somebody doesn't believe what I believe. I don't know. But a lot of people do, and I don't know, take it, like, personally and, get upset because you don't buy into the same thing they buy into. And I'm not saying that's bad or wrong, I'm just saying that's human nature, and it's a little confusing if you're a little more relaxed on that kind of stuff like I am. I think all that stuff is fun. I look at it like which superhero is better, you know what I mean? Oh, it's Spider-Man, it's Superman. No, it's Flat Earth. No, it's Nibiru. Yeah, whatever, well, it's fun. Talk about your favorite conspiracy theory. That's fun. I like it. I'm not no, I'm not putting any of them down ever. No. Don't even if I act like I am, I'm not. I'm just hacking on y'all. It's tea time. You looked up chemtrails. You don't buy it. You don't buy the whole chemtrail thing that those things are chemical trails left in the air on purpose. Yeah. Yeah, Bucky. We know civilizations, plural, have risen and fallen. All right. But Um, my point is that all of them fall every I don't know what it is, 26,000 years or something, whatever. The whole world just collapses every so many millennia. So, yeah, the civilizations rise and fall, they have in our recorded history. Many of them. The the Mongols rose and fell. They had a great civilization, huge, covered the second largest, I think, kingdom ever in recorded history, and now they're completely gone. I mean, there are still some Mongols who live on the steppes in the old way, but they're almost completely gone. That whole civilization is gone. Lake. Yeah, I did read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but many, many years ago, and I don't really remember it too much. I don't remember very much about it. I'd have to reread it and to speak on it with any kind of intelligence at all. I'd have to reread it again. Oh, okay, Mac. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. The Y files. Okay. Yeah, big country. I did look into the four turnings theory and I actually made a video on it. You'll if you watch it next week. You'll see it next week, and I gave you credit for turning me on to it. So, yeah, I did. I did look into it, and I read about it, and it was fascinating. And I actually, that and another something that Vintage said to me, I kinda combined the 2 and made a video on it. So, yeah, it'll be, I think, tomorrow, either tomorrow or Tuesday. I forget which one no, tomorrow. That one's tomorrow, yeah, that one will be posted tomorrow morning. Brian Tucker, have I said hi to you yet, Brian? Hey, Brian, glad to see you here, buddy. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Brian. I question all history, Brian. I question all present. I question everything happening in the present. I question everything that I don't see or smell or touch with my own senses. So it's just something somebody else told me. That's all I know for sure. That's all I know for a fact. So, and I like everyone else, I talk about history, Genghis Khan and all that stuff, but what do I know about it? Nothing. All I know is that somebody else told me this shit about Genghis Khan. Somebody else told me this shit about Julius Caesar. Somebody else told me, and so honestly, when I'm honest with myself, I don't know almost anything except what I've experienced with my own life, within my own life, and what I've done myself. Everything else, 90% of my knowledge is just stuff somebody else told me, either in a documentary or in a book or, verbally right to my face. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough to really fall wholeheartedly into something and believe it completely after you realize that. It's tough tough way to live. Gen X Jack. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I honestly, I just don't remember them chemtrails when I was a kid. We had clouds and stuff, and now those things, I just saw some the other day, a bunch of them all over the sky, and they're just straight as an arrow, and they just stay there. And I'm looking up at that, and I'm like, I do not remember that when I was a kid. So I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, definitely, Rusty Doob. History's written by the winners. So even if it's fairly accurate, it's massaged in a way to make the writer money, most likely, or to make the winners look good and look heroic instead of evil for killing a bunch of people. So yeah, it's tough when you start talking about history. I see Russia there. Who's from Russia? Let me see. Gen X Jack, are you in Russia? I've heard Russia's not that bad, actually. Actually pretty damn cool. When I think of Russia, I think of, pre-Berlin Wall Russia for some reason. Now I'm gonna get a mind blank. The guy with the birthmark on his head, I forget his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about as soon as I say that. Yeah, we saw him so many times on TV. Yeah. Yeah, that was my point, big country, in my video, that it looks like some bad times are coming. Something is on the horizon. Yeah. Yeah, that's something, there's something there, Bucky, that all the ancient religions, all the pyramids all over the world, the whole time growing up, I thought pyramids were the only place pyramids were Egypt. Then I find out, shit, they had them in Mississippi. They got them in Mexico. They got them in all over the damn place. They're all over the world. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, the truth is out there, and it's fun to look for it. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun to look for it. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that, Brian, the restricted area in the Grand Canyon. And to me, I don't know. To me, yeah, our Antarctic restricted area. To me, I just they shouldn't have they shouldn't have restricted areas without telling us what's there and giving us information. Hey, there's some shit here. We got some giant bones, or we got a crashed alien aircraft or something, and y'all aren't allowed in there. It's we're keeping it on the down low. We don't want anybody else getting this technology. So, at least be honest to the American people, because you think the entire country of China, their government and everything they have, or Russia or whoever, can't send spies and figure out that America's doing some sneaky shit down there in Antarctica. Of course, China knows and Russia knows that we've got some shit down there in Antarctica, or Area 51, or the Grand Canyon, you know what I mean? So why not tell the American people? They act like we're all gonna start jumping off of buildings and shit if there are in fact aliens. Huh? Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really cool, and we're gonna talk about it. I'll make a video about, hey, they prove there's aliens, everybody." That's what's gonna happen. Nobody's gonna freak out and, slam their car into a wall because they found aliens. You know what I'm saying? It just is ridiculous. They've been using that excuse for forever, that they don't want to scare the people and cause mass panic and all this shit. They're not gonna scare anybody. You're just lying because you don't want us to know whatever the hell you're actually doing in there. So you're letting us come up with theories. Just tell us it's damn aliens if it's aliens. We don't care. Vintage. Now you're at work, huh, Vintage? I just got off work. Yeah, I just got off work, Vintage. So you're where I was this morning. Yeah. Yeah, I love learning about history too, Lone Wolf, but it just I in the back of my mind, I always take it as, some of this is, or all of it is fiction. I don't know, because I just don't know. It's when I learn about history, it's someone else telling me about history, and that person wasn't there when you know what I mean? That person wasn't there to experience it. He's writing about some stuff that somebody else wrote about. So I don't know. But yeah, it is fascinating, especially I have some of my favorites, the Mongols, Genghis Khan. I love Roman history, all that kind of stuff. I can't get enough of a lot of that stuff. So yeah, no, it's fascinating. Ah, that's cool, Gen X Jack. Yeah, kids over there still ride bikes and climb trees and build forts, huh, over there in Russia. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good to hear. Mosh pit over there in Russia. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool as hell, a Russian mosh pit. That's just cool. Yeah. Yeah, Lorianne, this is a good time to talk about vintage because he can't really respond. We can hack on vintage all day. Good eye. That's not a knife, vintage. I don't have my knife here. I'm gonna say that's a knife. I like picking on Australians, especially vintage. 'Cause he just lets it roll off like water off a duck's back. He don't pay attention to me when I pick on the Australians. He's a true Gen Xer. Sticks and stones. Yeah. Yeah, Lauren, it probably would scare the boomers. Yeah. That would not surprise me one bit. I would have to bet. If I was a betting man, I'd bet that it would scare the boomers. They'd be pulling their hair out and running around acting crazy, but all of us, and I don't even think the millennials and the Gen Z, and I don't even think any of them, because we've seen so much stuff on the internet now, and these kids have seen 10 more times than I have. And I've been on the internet for 10 times longer than them, but they, you know what I mean? But now they spend 23 hours a day on the internet, or I might spend an hour or two. So they've seen a lot more than I have. So I don't think that much would surprise these youngsters. Yeah. Yeah, it would be a waste of a lot of space, but all that space is the reason why I think we've never been visited by another race, and I don't think we will ever visit another race ourselves. It's just too far away. I mean, the distances, they're we can't even comprehend the distances in our mind. We just hear that word light years and shit, and Star Trek, and we think of Star Trek or whatever, and that kind of stuff. But to actually, understand that distance in your mind, it's just too far. You can't do it. We can understand miles and kilometers and meters and stuff like that, but we can't understand, really fully understand, 500 light years. How far? I That is so far that you can't even. It would take 1,000 lifetimes to get there at our fastest speed. Probably more, probably closer to a billion lifetimes, something like that. It's just insane. So I just don't think that I believe there's life out there. I just don't think that they're like visiting each other and shit. It's just too damn far away. You know what I mean? That's a whole lot of money, a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of energy to put into something that might not even pan out, because the aliens are in the same boat we are. Is there anybody else out there? You know what I mean? So they're going to build this multi-trillion dollar starship, and they're going to go zipping around the galaxy looking for somebody else, you know? I don't know. Maybe. I don't. I think the odds are just way against it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I do just because common sense tells me so, that I do believe that there is life out there. There are other civilizations out there like us. Just they've never been here, I don't believe. Because common sense tells me that that's really hard to do. Yeah, yeah, Lorianne. It's just too big for us to be the only ones. But it's not too big for us to not be in contact with other species out there, with other civilizations out there. So that's the kicker. When we say that, oh, the universe is just too big for there not to be someone else out there. Well, we also have to realize that because it's so big, that's why it's so hard to just visit each other and shit. I you know, to have another civilization come down here and just fly around in our sky and flash lights at us and then accidentally wreck and end up in Area 51 and all this stuff, and you know, I just no, I'm not on that ship. Yeah. Yeah, there's the thing, tea time. Maybe they can teleport, and yes, maybe they can. But to do that, we have to invent another thing. We have to invent aliens, and now we have to invent teleportation. We have to make something up, right? For that to happen. So where I'm coming from is that whatever we see here on Earth, I think there's an explanation here on Earth. It was people or, whatever else. Maybe some of them bones we dug up, an ancient race of people or something. I don't know. But just when you start inventing stuff like aliens and technologies like uh, um, gravity drive jump systems and quantum engines and all this stuff, we can invent anything we want to get them here. We can. You just, make it up in our minds. They can teleport or pass through wormholes and all this stuff and all this theoretical stuff, but we have to make that stuff up. It's not real, and we don't have that stuff yet. So, but yeah, but it's fascinating to talk about. Yeah, maybe they can teleport. Maybe they can do a Star Trek thing. That's maybe one day that will be possible. I don't know. I don't know that it's not already possible, to be honest with you. Maybe the government's already teleporting shit around. I don't know. The rule that I heard and that in my own experience in the army is pretty true. I don't know now because technology has gone so fast, but the rule is that the government is 25 years ahead of the technology that we have, right? That's the basic rule. And when I was there, I saw that. And just being a private in the army, I saw that we had shit that civilians didn't have. I mean, and wouldn't have for 20 years. So yeah, I believe that. So whatever we have, we'll have in 25 years, we'll have what the government has now. That's a pretty close approximation. Yeah, big country. Those metric wrenches. I hate those damn things. I'll be honest with you. Those damn things. I wish they'd just throw them all away. Just make everything regular, half inch, three quarter inch, 9/16, the stuff I'm used to. Because I'm reading a tape measure a lot too. Either that or just switch over to the metric system so we can just be right there with vintage and Leic. We just have to get used to it. But having both, trying to do both, crossing back and forth, grab me a metric wrench and then a standard and then this and that. Going back and forth is a pain in the butt. Yeah, that's the fear. That's one of my fears anyway, Lauren, a paperless society, because that is complete and total control. When they can just, I mean, when everything is digital, think about it. The registration to your car, your driver's license, the deed to your house, everything is just digital and they can just manipulate it, turn it off. You did something bad, you posted something that doesn't, we've got rules here in the United States or in England or in Australia. We've got rules. So flick, there's your bank account shut off, your driver's license, the registration to your car, everything's just shut off with the flick of one button. So I don't like that idea. That doesn't sit well with me, not in my head. Yeah, Gen X Jack. Yeah, we can't even send information at a fast enough speed to get an answer back in a lifetime, let alone several lifetimes it would take to get an answer back. So the person that sent the message at the speed of light, if we did find one, it'd be 400 years over there, 400 years back. It'd be 800 years later, we'd get an answer. That's if they had the technology to answer us. So, yeah, you're talking 800 years at the speed of light just to receive an answer. So, yeah, that's so far. Yeah, it's tea time. That whole thing, that's crazy with that because they have theories and stuff about that teleportation thing where they like copy your DNA or whatever and then just basically you're a copy then. You are destroyed down to the atom and then reassembled with some other atoms to make you back up, somewhere else. That's weird to think about it that way because are you still you then? Or are you somebody else? I don't know. That's weird when I think about that. I can't wrap my mind around that one quite yet. Yeah, they have another theory they have is like generational starships is where you leave out on a starship, but the starship is a really big ship where you can grow your own food and everything on there, right? And it'll take several generations. Like the people that and leave Earth on this starship, their great 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 grandchildren will be the ones to arrive at the destination, and they will be the original astronauts that left will be long dead. It could be that's because it takes so long to get there. So, but you need a really huge ship, um, and stuff like that to for that, and we've never had one of those show up here. I mean, we would see that bad boy, especially with all the telescopes and stuff we have aimed at the sky now. It would be anything that come close to us now, really close to the Earth, would automatically be seen because there are all the time probably millions of people looking through telescopes up at the sky, scanning the sky all the time. Oh yeah. Yeah, back to yeah, big country. If it's a 5/8, also bring a metric one that matches visually. Yeah, yeah, that stuff just that irritates me. But I just buy the sets with both, the standard and the metric together, so I know I have them. Yeah, Lorianne, I know that has to happen. They come up with stuff, but at the same time, I think there's another organic, uh, private, uh, limb off of that technological tree that comes up, and and so we get some of that too. But if it's too advanced, then the government will just go in and take it. They'll shut them down and take it, buy them out, whatever, do something, give them enough of our tax money to make them happy, or just disappear them. You know what I mean? If the government finds something that is too useful to them and they don't want anybody else to have it, well, you know, they'll just go ahead and get that with you. Yeah. Yeah, I've watched that film Contact. That's a pretty good one, Lone Wolf. Yeah, I like that one. My brain will lock up on me again. Yeah. Yeah. That I'm the same way, tea time. I just like to think about this kind of stuff though. It's fascinating to me. Cannon. Hey. Good afternoon, Cannon. Glad to see you here. I'm glad to see you here, man. Yeah, we're talking about conspiracy theories and just a general discussion on whether there might be life in outer space and how they might aliens might have gotten here, or if they might one day if they haven't yet. So teleportation was brought up. I just talked about generation starships. Yeah. Yeah, lone wolf. A hammer can fix anything. Yep. I fixed a lot of stuff with baling wire and duct tape when I was younger. I've got a lot more tools now though, and a lot more stuff, so and a lot more knowledge now. So I try to fix things properly now. But yeah, there's all kinds of theories about how you would be able to travel those vast distances in a short time. A warp drive where it bends space and it actually collapses space. So you know, you just move a little bit and then space goes back and you've actually traveled, umpteen gazillion light years in a flash. So and that's a theory, that's fiction. And my point is with the evidence we have that civilization collapses has collapsed in the past, even within our own time now, many civilizations have collapsed. So even if we don't do it ourselves, civilization will probably collapse before we could ever get there to that point of that just extremely high technology. I don't think we'll get there. Honestly, if I had to, like I say, if I had to bet on it, I would say that we won't get there. We'll have World War III or World War IV or whatever, and we'll mess everything up. Look at these idiots in the government. They're going to screw everything up before we could ever get to this point where we're visiting other stars. They're going to screw everything up before we could ever get there. They can't even they can't even fix potholes in the roads and shit, let alone build a damn advanced starship or get us to the point where somebody else can do it like Elon Musk. Well, Mac, bale and wire is a proper fix for a lot of stuff. That is, I gotta admit. Just depends on what you're fixing. Well, when I fix stuff around the house with baling wire, my wife gets mad. You know, she doesn't like me fixing stuff inside the house with baling wire and duct tape. Yeah, that's one of my favorite shirts I have. We can fix stupid, but it's gonna hurt. I love that shirt. Yeah, yeah, Brett. Brett Munson. Have I said hi to you yet? Hey, Brett. Yeah, if it doesn't fit, get a bigger hammer. Definitely. Yeah, an old belt. Duct tape, yeah. Yeah, we're industrious when it comes to fixing stuff, old Gen X. I've literally fixed mufflers with baling wire because mufflers start dragging and falling down, and then get under there and get some baling wire and some pliers and hold it up with baling wire. Yeah. Yeah. Bubble gum, that'll hold a lot of stuff depending on the brand. Big League Chew. Y'all remember that? Big League Chew. Trying to get it right in the camera. That was my favorite bubble gum. I love that shit. Give me a pack. I'd be 7 years old with a pack of Big League Chew in my back pocket. Shit, I was a big boy. Just like my uncles with their Levi Garrett and shit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Jeff 7, about time you got here, man. We've been waiting on you. And we've talked about we went from space aliens and Anunnaki. Now we're talking about baling wire and duct tape. Just to catch you up, Jeff 7. We will go from the strange and theoretical to the very simple and inane. Baling wire and duct tape all in the same conversation. Yeah, that's what's awesome about Gen X right there. Coat hangers, yeah. Yeah, true. But if you lock your key in all fairness, tea time, if you lock your keys in your car, a hammer works good too. A hammer will get them keys out of there just probably faster than a coat hanger would. And you don't have to be as good at doing all that stuff. A hammer, all you have to do is swing it. Yeah. Yeah, we're having fun though. Yeah, yeah, Jeff. Fix just about anything. Now we gotta tie it. That's what we're trying to tie it together and see how we can fix that spaceship in Area 51 with baling wire and duct tape. Yeah, yeah. There you go, Loran. Keep keep the hammer in your truck just in case you lock yourself out. Yeah, there you go. And that's it right there, Mac. Um, I think so. I think that's where this is headed. We're about to solve quantum entanglement with baling wire and duct tape. Maybe a coat hanger and some bubble gum. Duct tape is indispensable no matter what you're doing, Jeff. Yeah, duct tape always indispensable. Yeah, no matter what you're doing. That goes without saying. You can tape up a wound. It's medical, medicinal. Oh yeah. Yeah. Great fun at parties. There's no end to it. It'll keep a yapping dog's mouth shut if you're in a hurry. Yeah. Beer, duct tape and beer, Rusty Doob. Alright. Yeah, that Gorilla Tape is pretty good. I just wish it wasn't so damn expensive. Holy crap. Going there, I bought I that's well, I think that is the last time I cried is when I bought a roll of Gorilla Tape. That shit was so expensive. Hit me right in my wallet. But I needed something really strong that I thought would last, for that particular thing I was doing. But yeah, that stuff is expensive. But yeah, that's one thing that I've noted about Gen X is that we're industrious like that. We figure stuff out and figure out how to fix stuff with whatever we have on hand, whatever by whatever means available, with what's available, we can fix shit. And I've always, well, for a long time anyway, I would just buy stuff that happened in life. I started out framing houses and then, went into masonry for a little bit and plumbing and I jumped around from trade to trade for a while, not particularly on purpose. And I was kind of afraid of being a jack of all trades, never really getting into a trade and learning it. And so I could advance and make good money. And but that's exactly what happened. I ended up being a handyman and working for myself. Now I'm happy I did it. But I think that that's part a good large part of the Gen X in me, just, being able to figure stuff out and learn different things and learn different ways of doing things. And it's served me really well. It really has. So, and I think that's a trait that all of us share. Maybe not every single one of us, but most of us can figure shit out. We grew up that way, figuring shit out. No, okay, Lauren. I think I have only bought 1 roll, but I needed it at the time. I needed it. And yeah, holy cow, that Gorilla Tape's expensive. Yeah, true. Gen X Jack, everyone was a jack of all trades in the 1800s. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Tea time. Is it feast or famine? Being in business for myself. Uh, no, no, not really. It can be, just depending on, you know, if I do think if I have to make a mistake for it to be famine, I have to do something wrong, okay? And get in a position where I've not booked out work ahead of time. So I have gone a week or 2 without work, but it's because I made a mistake and I thought that I would have work, you know? So no, not necessarily. It's not like I have no control of it and it's just feast or famine. No. No, not here where I live anyway. There are too many old people who come down to Florida and none of them do their own stuff. You know, they're always looking for a handyman. So, yeah, I don't have any problem finding work. Andrew White. I play cards for a living. What, like Uno or Go Fish? The Go Fish would be a good one for, for a career. I'd play some Go Fish for, if I could get paid doing it. Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing I do tea time is I do what I say I'm gonna do, and if I tell them I'm gonna be there at 7, I'm there at 7, and I do the stuff, and, I just keep my word to the people, and that tends to serve me well. Because even if they call another handyman, the guy might not show up, He probably won't show up, so he'll call me again anyway. "Hey, Jesse, this guy didn't show up." Like, "I'll come over there." Because, even when they find somebody cheaper or whatever, they're not gonna show up a lot of times. So, yeah, people will stick with someone who's willing to keep their word. Yeah, lone wolf, you got that right. I pity the fool. Oh, old maid? Andrew White, old maid for a living. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. Yeah. That is that's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, we're back, Hill Bill. We've been back for a while now. Yeah, talking about aliens and duct tape. Don't why you never want to mix those 2. Yeah, Hill Bill, that exactly right. That's why and people get that. Hillbill says this is important too. Say what you do what you say, be careful as to what you say. And people take me the wrong way when I don't want to say something. They think I'm being like catty or something, like mysterious and trying to hide shit or something. No, I know that I personally have to keep my word. So I don't want to say it because if I say it, I've committed myself to it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to commit to this shit because then I got to do it. So people ask me some stuff and I'll be like, "I don't know," and then they get a weird vibe off that, like I'm trying to be shady or something off it. No, I'm trying to be honest. I do not know, and I'm not gonna tell you, that I can do this, on this time when I don't know. I've got to check my schedule and stuff and see. So, yeah, that's very important. Even if people look at you weird when you are careful about what you say, still they respect the end result. Because when you say you are going to be there at a certain time and you are there at a certain time, if not a few minutes early, then people respect that shit. They like the hell out of it because you're just respecting their time. And people like that. And you're going to get customers and you're going to get faithful customers and you're going to do okay. California coolers. Hell yeah, we remember California coolers. I don't remember I don't remember a whole lot after I drank a bunch of them, but yeah, I remember those. We would drink anything, and we went through that. Me and my buddies in the Army, we would have a different nights, like, we'd have cheap wine night, and we just all go buy our a gallon literally a big gallon glass jar of cheap wine. You know, one dude would buy a couple bottles or whatever. One guy would come in with 4 bottles of Mad Dog 2020, but it had to be cheap wine. And we all of us would just drink cheap wine. Talk about some of the worst hangovers. We had hard liquor night, cheap beer night, uh, wine cooler night, all different. We had all these different nights, and God, those were some of the worst hangovers the next morning. Yeah, it was a lot of fun though, 21, 22 years old in the Army, just doing dumb shit. MacGyver, there you go, lone wolf prepper, yeah. Eat the time, big country. I don't know if you were talking to me on that. I hope you don't have to eat the time for the roached out trailer. Yeah, Jeff, I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah. uh, I don't know. I think all us Gen Xers are a little crazy, Loran. I think so. I think Lucky Logger's still around. Andrew, I think so. I think I've seen it relatively recently. Yeah. Yeah, Florida is just we've got so much Bucky, we've got so much tourism and stuff down here, and then people come down here for the winter, and people just move down here after they get tired of going back and forth. They get so old that they don't want to go back and forth anymore. They just move down here permanently. And there are so many of them that, you know, that there's enough work for just all the handyman. Everybody who's not that age could be a handyman, and we'd all stay busy. There's so many. Orange California coolers. Who is that? Tea time at a Foreigner concert. Yeah, that's partying, dude. Yeah, yeah. I gotta give that to you. Getting hammered at a Foreigner concert on Orange California coolers. Yeah, that's partying. Got to give it to you. Bartles and James, Brett Munson. Yeah, I remember that too. Holy shit, all that stuff. You guys are bringing back memories. I remember that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, MacGyver and the Swiss Army knife. Yeah, me neither, Laura Ann. That's the first time I've heard that in forever. Bartles and James. Holy shit. Yeah, Rusty Dube. You haven't thought about Mad Dog in years? Yeah. Holy, I remember I drank Mad Dog probably half a dozen times when I was in the Army. And that last time I drank it, the hangover was just so horrible, I had to swear off of it. I've never drank it again for literally decades and decades. It just no. I'm not gonna do that to myself ever again, and I never did. It was just so bad. I don't know what the hell they put in that Mad Dog, a radiator cleaner or something, but it is bad. You finished your $1,400 toy bin, Hillbill? Oh, yeah, Mike's Hard Lemonade, can't forget that one, yeah. Trying to think of another one. I We had all kinds of shit back then. Boone's Farm, yeah, Andrew. Classic. Yeah, Boone's Farm. Thunderbird, yep. Tea Time, yeah, that's another one. That's right there with Mad Dog. That was one of those cheap wines that came in the flat bottle. Yeah, Thunderbird was one of those. Hill Bill Purple Heart. Is that a wine or something? Is that an alcoholic beverage? I've never heard of that one. Oh, okay. Lucky Lager Mac. Lucky Lager does exist. Okay, they still make that. Mad Dog and Jolt. That's a special combination there. Oh, yeah. That would Mad Dog and Jolt equal good times that you don't remember having. Oh, shit. Little King's Cream Ale. Never heard of that one. Never heard of that one. I remember those Jolt Colas, though. That was like the first energy drink, right? Remember that? It was like 4 times the caffeine or something. And as kids, we're like, "Oh, that's what I want." Yeah, that shit was insane. Yeah. Yeah. Mad Dog and Jolt, and then go looking for Skunk Ape. Yep. Those are good times there. That's a awesome memory waiting to happen. Jolt. Jolt Jolt should not be mixed with anything except like antifreeze or something. You're supposed to put that kind of shit in your car, not in your body. But we did though, yeah. I remember that. Didn't it have a lightning bolt on the can or something? I'm trying to remember it. It was like a yellow can with a blue lightning bolt or something. I might have that wrong, but yeah, I used to like that stuff. Not for the taste or anything, just because it was so extreme. That's all. That's the only reason I liked it. It was so damn extreme. I had to have it. Oh yeah, just generic beer. Yeah. And then we had I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember, but it was a Northwest thing because I was stationed in Fort Lewis. But there was a beer up there, and it had like one one can had a duck on it, and the another can had a dog or something, and we just called it animal beer. It was like Schrader or something it was called, something like that, but we just called it animal beer. Yeah, it was cheap. We were privates in the Army, barely making any money, so we couldn't go out and get good beer. We had to get cheap stuff that it just get us hammered. Moonshine, yeah. Y'all make moonshine over there, Lone Wolf? Y'all don't have those crazy hillbillies up there in the woods cooking moonshine like we do you? No, alright. Oh, Laura Ann said that actually happened. I thought she was just I thought she was just acting crazy trying to get us all to laugh. She said that's an actual incident. Okay. I get it. The 2 thumbs up, Laura. She's relaying some good times. I thought she was joking the whole time. Uh, yeah. Yeah, it was just sugar and caffeine, big country. It was just so extreme. That's why I think it tasted horrible if I remember correctly, but it was like the upgrade of Mountain Dew, you know? I drank Mountain Dew, in my early teens and Mountain Dew, and then you get a strong Mountain Dew, go get a Jolt. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew to wash down your Pop Rocks, yeah. Yeah, David, 50/50, yeah. Yep, generic cigarettes. What I do they don't even have that stuff anymore, do they? That generic beer, it just said beer, and then the generic cigarettes, they had all kinds of just generic stuff back then. Yeah, the lima beans or whatever they don't have that anymore. I haven't seen that in years now that I think about it. Passion pop, Gen X Jack, make something called Glug. That's a cool name. Old man. Top ramens in a coffee pot? Hell, hey, if it works, it works. Hell, glad to see you here, old man. Glad you could join us, buddy. Yeah, that's what it it used to be. Who was that? Andrew buying a used car for 500 bucks. Hell yeah, and you buy a good one. It'd be a good car for 500 bucks. Last you a year or two at least. Yeah. You might have to change a couple parts on it, but don't drink Line Star beer, drink Shiner. Yeah, big country. Yeah, we make moonshine. You're on your way to big country, huh? Yeah, they had 500 bucks, that used to be it. You could get a good car for 500 bucks back then. Now what? I mean, you can't nobody I haven't seen a car for sale in the last decade for less than like 2,500 or something, 3 grand. I mean, that's just rock bottom. And that's a piece of shit. Lone Star beer, yeah, I've drank Lone Star before. 95 Oldsmobile. Yeah, Dead Wolf. Yeah, 1,000 bucks a year, Gen X Jack. Yeah, that's back when you could afford stuff. I mean, you could go out and work one summer as a teenager, buy a car, and then afford the insurance. Now, the insurance is so crazy expensive, and yeah, we all need to get us a General Lee just in case shit goes down. Andrew, my first concert, I've never been to a concert. Never been to one. That's it. I think that's it. Schmidt. Laura Ann can't get tires for 500 now. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You can't. No, I mean, you get a good deal on tires now. They're about 6, 700. That's a hell of a good deal. That's on sale. Metallica and Guns N' Roses. I bet that was a good one. Police. Yeah. Police would be awesome. Journey, Kiss, Scorpions. Yeah. Y'all are naming some good bands. No, I've just never been to a concert. This never was my thing. Twisted Sister. Yeah, Nirvana, yeah. Yeah, I bet that would be a good one. Loran, Journey, and Def Leppard. Hell yeah. Rusty Dube. Yeah. Ozzy and Metallica. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Jason Stevenson. Have I said hi to you yet? Hey, Jason. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Glad to see you here. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jason. I had a 76 Mustang. Yeah, and I used to drive it. Had a 302 in it. I actually coming back to Fort Lewis from Tacoma on I-5. I just wanted to see how fast I could get this thing to go because it was a really fast car. And the needle, the speedometer went up to 145, and I had it passed 145, and it was down to the H in miles per hour, and it was just shaking there, right? Just flying down this interstate. So I have no idea how fast I was going. I would guess about 170, something like that. And I slowed down. I started slowing down from that, and a cop popped me at 80 as I was slowing down. He just happened to gun me at 80 when he could have had me at 170, 8 seconds ago or whatever. So I was pissed off that I got a ticket, but I was also very relieved that he didn't catch me at my maximum speed, which was like 170. I probably would have went to jail. Yeah, but I used to drive the shit out of that car. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, David, they will be. Yeah, you go out there and your shit'll be gone. People be stealing tires. Andrew, yeah. I don't know, when was the last time anybody saw a woman with curlers in her hair? 1987, something like that? Yeah. Yeah, Gen X Jack, that's the kind of stuff Gen X does, and now I see he said Gen X said he bought a brand new four-wheel drive and took it to straight to the sand pits and had all 4 tires off the ground before it was an hour old. That's Gen X right there. I see these dudes driving around in these big trucks and, 4 by 4 splashed across the fender in big awesome letters, and they're these big monster tires, and it's all jacked up and stuff, and you can just look at it and see that there is not a scratch on it. It's never been off the pavement. Never been off the pavement, not once in its life. It's just immaculate, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why the hell would you get a four-wheel drive truck like that and not go busting up some shit, go busting through the woods? I would have to. I couldn't just park that thing in a parking lot and drive it around on the pavement for its entire life. I'd have to see what it had. I'd have to know what I bought. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody needs to bring back the damn muscle car. That's for damn sure. A Velociraptor, Brian. Yeah, muscle cars are awesome. I still do. I still love them all. Yeah, Camaros, the Chevelle, Mustangs. You just name we know them all. They were all awesome. Remember the IROC Z28? That thing was so popular. It was like memes are today. If a car was ever a meme, it would have been the IROC, right? It was just everywhere. But those things were so awesome. Yeah, I used to love that car. I never had one, but when I was a kid, I used to Love seeing them. My favorite car as a kid was the 280Z, though. I was pissed off when Nissan bought Datsun. Yeah, yeah, drive-in movies. Yep. Yeah, those I don't understand why those things went away, more or less. I know there are some uh, individual drive-in movies here and there, but for the most part, they've gone away, and they were just so awesome. You park out there and get the speaker, and they could have just upgraded those with technology. They didn't have to completely do away with them. Oh yeah, David. Yeah, those never seen dirt 4x4 lifted trucks in the suburbs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and never been off the pavement. It's just that's all just a virtue signal or whatever, that's just a hey, look at me thing. That's not I like to go do shit thing. And that's what Gen X, we got shit because we wanted to go do shit. We got a fast car because we wanted to go fast. We got a mud truck because we wanted to go out in the mud, not because, we wanted people to look at it or whatever. But yeah. Yeah, no. Metal Gear. Metal Gear Punisher. I ain't seen you here yet. Hi, Metal Gear. I mean, not today. You've been to my previous ones, I think, but I haven't said hello today. Yeah, no, cable TV can't replace drive-in movies. And those things were just awesome. No drive-in movies. I still remember I would go to them now if they were around. Yeah, driving on a road and not seeing another car. Yeah. Don't I wish? Yeah, that would be awesome. But I used to do that all the time. I could take the back roads when I was a kid in my late teens. I could take the back roads and not see another car the whole time. Now, shit, you take the back roads and there's still a traffic jam because a lot of people take the back roads. Yeah, yeah, Andrew, that's true. Those tariffs are gonna mess up TMU. The first Mac first drive-in movie he saw was Superman in 1978. The first one I remember was 9 to 5, and there was this story there because I asked my parents what we were going to see, and they told me 9 to 5 and Norma Ray. And though they're 2 different movies, there's a movie called Norma Ray and a movie called 9 to 5, and it was a double feature. Well, I didn't understand that when they said that. I thought that was the entire name of the movie. I thought it was one movie, 9 to 5 and Norma Ray, and I was the whole time driving to the drive-in theater, I'm thinking, "What the hell kind of movie are we going to watch? That sounds really stupid. It's not even words, just 9 to 5 and Norma Ray." What is you know what I mean? And so that's one thing I remember as a kid where you hear something, but you don't hear what's being said kind of thing. And, I heard that what's the guy's name from White Stripes? Jack White? That's what that song, Seven Nation Army, he had a misunderstanding like that as a kid. He thought when he heard people saying Salvation Army, the adults around him, he thought they were saying Seven Nation Army, and that's what he wrote that song from that misunderstanding as a kid. Yeah, so that's really cool. I think a cool bit of trivia. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jason, we used to sneak people in, yeah. Yeah. hide in the trunk and shit and duck down in the back seats and yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we used to do that same thing as teenagers. Yeah, Rusty Doob. Yeah, you saw 9 to 5 too? Yeah. Yeah, I'll never forget that misunderstanding with my parents because I was really not looking forward to the movie after they told me the title of it, 9 to 5 and Norma Ray. It just sounded really dumb to me. No, I haven't seen that video, Bucky. Yeah. You had to wear pajamas to the drive-in, so you go straight to bed when you got home. That sounds about right with how our parenting went as kids, yeah. Yeah, right to bed. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, everybody. I'm gonna throw in the towel. Now we're having a good time, but I gotta get to bed so I can get to work in the morning. Been great visiting with y'all. Thank you so much for dropping by and hanging out with in our Gen X live stream here. That's awesome. We bring back so many awesome memories and all the cool stuff we did as as kids and the dumb stuff we did as teenagers. Mad Mad Dog and Jolt and then go looking for a skunk ape. I wish that I hadn't done anything crazier than that, but I unfortunately I have many times. Yeah, thank you, Big Country. Thanks for coming by, Andrew, Dead Wolf, Jeff Seven, David, Gilbreth, Tea Time, Metal Gear, Gen X Jack, Laura Ann. I'm not gonna get everybody here, but I'll get as many as I can. Bucky, Rusty Doob. There he is. Jason, Mac, Andrew White. Can't forget Lake and Vintage. Brian. I'll see y'all on the next one. Um, again, I'll do another live stream Saturday morning. Okay. And I know that's too early for a lot of people, especially here in the US. But if you happen to be up, we'll be doing one. Usually it's vintage and laic um and who else was it? Oh, lone wolf preppers there a lot of times. But we got a few people who join us in the on the Saturday morning live streams. So we have good conversations there too. And of course, we'll do another one next Sunday, and hopefully, I won't work late next Sunday, and we can be on time at 4 o'clock. But uh, thank y'all for showing up and hanging out with me. It's been a blast. I haven't laughed this much in a long time. I had a really great time. So thank you very much. Sincerely, thank you for hanging out with me and doing this. And I'll see you next week. All right. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X. And I'll see you on the next one.